I just can't have Lewis Hamilton never win another race. I can't have his closest coming to glory for the final time being losing to Max as he did in Abu Dhabi.
All right, it's time for a special part of today's show brought to you by Heineken Silver. New, crisp, and refreshing, Heineken Silver has only 3.2 carbs and 95 calories, and a taste with no bitter endings. And we know bitter endings. In fact, Juliet, let's talk about some bitter endings now. Let's talk about Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes and the last year and a half of woe, pal.
It's been really rough to watch. Honestly, I said this with Taryn, but like every time Mercedes is just like, yeah, it's not going to happen for us. I'm just like, is this a joke? Is this like gamesmanship? I don't get it. But I just can't have Lewis Hamilton never win another race. I can't have his closest coming to glory for the final time being losing to Max as he did in Abu Dhabi. So that's just been really hard to watch this season. But like, is there any hope for Lewis to win a race?
Not this year. And also, to make it a little more sad, is Fernando Alonso is probably going to win a race. And Fernando Alonso was at one point a very bitter rival of Lewis Hamilton. And the fact that Aston Martin improved so quickly and Mercedes is not is a little bit. You've used the word sad a few times. I'll just say it's a little depressing that Aston can make those gains in a year and Mercedes cannot.
And those two really dislike each other. I think it's funny that Alonso is like pretending to like everyone this season, but that's a side note.
Do you think that this last year and a half would be significantly different if Lewis had won the championship and it was just kind of like a little bit of a hangover effect and we got to say, well, he won the championship and now they're paying the bills come due on that kind of stuff. It just, the rumor, by the way, and let's go back 2 years. My brain is straining to do this, but the rumor, remember, was that Mercedes had stopped really caring about that season because they were really going to have something figured out when the new regulations came. Well, the new regulations came.
I remember.
And it didn't work. And the big thing was that Red Bull had gone all in on Max winning the championship. Meanwhile, they were going to have one of the best cars in the history of the sport the next year and the year after.
It just felt like this butterfly effect moment where Max wins a championship under such dramatic pretenses, and it felt so unfair. But it ushered in this new era. It's the Max era, and like he really he yanked it from Lewis. And Lewis is just like so decorated. He's also just so one of a kind that I have found watching him for the last year and a half with this like really like this middling car. And I just even think his own like interest feels a little bit different. Maybe it's because he just knows they can't be competitive, but it's definitely, as a Lewis fan and like just a Mercedes fan, I don't even really know why, I have found it hard to watch. And I really hope he can get another race.
I mean, it would be the most interesting thing of the year if Mercedes actually, one of these upgrades actually got to a point where they're competing over a race weekend. And we've heard over and over again, heard Leclerc say it last week, you can compete with Red Bull over one lap. Certainly in a Ferrari you can, but not over a weekend where they have the strategy advantage, They have the upgrade advantage, they have obviously the car advantage. They have every single advantage. And over from a Friday, Saturday, Sunday standpoint, Red Bull is going to win out. So if Mercedes has some of those built-in advantages. We've seen that in the past. So if they got the car up to where it needed to be, which is a big if, because by the way, Red Bull is not going to stop developing, it would be at least an intriguing second half of the season if that could happen. Thankfully, with Heineken Silver, you get all the taste with no bitter endings. Only 3.2 carbs and 95 calories. That's new, crisp, and refreshing Heineken Silver. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 plus to purchase. Please enjoy Heineken responsibly.